Well, good morning ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. And as you can see, we're test riding today the Triumph Tiger 1200, and it's the GT Pro. I've just nipped up to Triumph in Chester, picked up the GT Pro, and I've just taken it round some roads around Chester into Wales, just to get that initial feel. It's only an hour's test ride, so I'm not going to get much out of an hour. So I've got it in road mode at the moment, and the setting, the suspension setting is in comfort. This isn't going to be like a massive review of the bike, going into specs and all that kind of stuff. It's just a case of me just jumping on it for an hour, just to get a feel of the bike and just to see whether this is something that would pique my interest and see whether it's something that I'd be interested in. Having already ridden the GS, I was blown away with the GS's comfort and just how big the GS was, but just how manageable it was and how flickable it was and just how seamless it was round the roads around my area. My initial worries about jumping on the Tiger was just going to be how big it was and how I was going to manage having only a 31-inch inseam on the bike, how I was going to manage that weight and the height. And I can tell you now that this bike, it feels like the same weight as my Tracer. I don't know how they've done it, but this just doesn't feel heavy at all. Even at stopping at lights and junctions, this bike does not feel heavy at all. It's very manageable. Now, I don't know whether you can hear the engine noise over this screen, but it doesn't matter whether I put it in the lower setting or the higher setting, but that's easy to do, sorting the screen out there. But it doesn't matter whether I put it in the lowest or the highest, I'm getting a lot of wind noise off that screen. When you drop it down into a gear and then accelerate in this, there's almost like an induction growl on this bike. And making use of the quick shifter and the blipper, so you can downshift without using the clutch. And oh my god, what a game changer! What a game changer, especially for little roads like this where you're scratching around on these twisties, where you're braking into bends and you're just knocking it down on the blipper, bump bump, straight down without using the clutch, and it's seamless. It's a lot smoother than the GS, a lot smoother. The GS, it was just too jolty and I didn't enjoy using it. This is beautiful. And that noise of that engine, the T-plane, they've got it bang on, Triumph. Yeah, it sounds lovely. I don't know if you can hear that engine, but it's grunting away. Yep, so I've got this in road mode and I've got it in comfort. We've had a little bit of rain, as you can see. And I've got kind of all-round tyres on, I think they've put on this, the Metzelers, and it's fine. I tell you what I've noticed is round these roads as well, where the tarmac isn't so good, and you know, if you get a tractor or a high-sided vehicle coming and it almost forces you over to the inside of the road, and it might be full of potholes and stuff, this just laps it all up, so it soaks all the road up. And What I've noticed about these adventure bikes is they're ideal for roads around where I live. But as you can expect from an adventure bike, whether it be GS or whether it be Triumph, the positioning on this is so comfortable. This TFT display is beautiful. It's got all the information that you need on there, that you could cycle through. You've got everything on this joystick pretty much here at the bottom. So you can change the brightness of the screen, you can change all the dampening of the rider modes, it tells you about your coolant, all the information in there, got trip, you can Bluetooth your phone to it, and I think it's quite a stylish screen actually. It's yeah, it's really nice, and the switch gear on here is not confusing whatsoever. You've got everything handy on this left hand side, and it's manageable and it's not confusing. You know everything is. It's got a cruise control on there, joystick for the menu. The indicators are usable. I can cancel them and put them on quite easy. And also you've got heated grips, 3 levels of heated grips on there, just on that button there, which is really easy to use. I think more manufacturers should just put the heated grip button there. So all I'm looking for is something that will put a smile on your face, something you'll enjoy. And basically it wants to be an all-rounder as well, so I need to be able to take it out the garage, nip to the shops on it, take it out the garage and nip to Wales and nip to a motorbike cafe, and then I also need to be able to do hours in the saddle, doing a 10-day trip, Spain and the Pyrenees on it. And I think this bike ticks all them. It's just so comfortable. The steering is really flickable. I'm only just touching these bars. The weight on this is really high up, and I don't know how they've managed to do this. It's very clever how they've managed to make you not feel the weight, if you know what I mean. That's lovely, going around that, so smooth. What a fantastic bike so far, and I can only imagine that if I had this for a week and I could take this, you know, on tour with me for the week, I reckon I would love it. I'm a bit gutted that I've only got an hour, because I'd really sort of love to be able to delve into the menus and have a play about with stuff. I think what we might do is we might stick this into sports. We'll go road and then we'll go sport. Close the throttle to confirm. Right, so we're in sport mode now rather than road mode. We'll see what the difference is. I've got a feeling it's going to be a bit more of a jerky throttle. Yeah, and the throttle response is a lot smoother in road mode. This engine's lovely and smooth, quite quiet until you open it up a little bit, and then you get that induction roar. But I can hardly hear the engine, I can hardly hear the exhaust. It's just really quiet. But yeah, gear change is seamless, which I'm loving, both up and down on quick shifter and blipper. I can imagine myself doing a lot of tours on something like this. Also, not to like though about test riding with this scenery as well around Wales. Look at how green these hills are. I feel like I'm on tour already. I think now I've ridden a couple of bikes now with quick shifters on, compared them, like, I mean, the GS was so clunky, I hated that quick shifter on there, but on this it's just lovely. And it just, what it does is, if say you've had hours in the saddle, it just takes that, it just makes everything easier. But then equally, if you want to throw it round twisty roads, you're up and down through the gears, which is what I want really from a bike, where I'm not just no, I did that in third. Look at the views down there, beautiful. Yeah, I think we've picked a good road here all the way to Mould. straight away. That power, straight away. I mean, you've got 150 brake horsepower on this. And it's seamless in these corners. It's just confidence inspiring, I think. That's the word. Just lovely round them bends. So my brother-in-law Richard has got one of these, an old model. I don't know what year it is. I like his Triumph Explorer. I think it's a lovely bike. I can now understand why when we went up to Scotland and through the Lake District doing hours in the saddle, why he gets off the bike looking so fresh. Whereas I'm in bits and I've got shoulder pain, and he's there just like, oh, alright. And sitting on this, I can understand why. You're talking 150 brake horsepower on an adventure bike, so there's power there. So I reckon if you get up and down through the gearbox, I think this is more than manageable. I've not done that on this hour's demo today, only because there's £1,000 excess on the bike. But for the kind of riding that I do, which is get the bike out on a weekend and I'll do a loop all the way around Wales and I'll be out for the day and I'm out all day, this bike would be comfortable. I wouldn't I don't think I'd be feeling any aches and pains or anything like that. And it's mile crunching, this, isn't it? You know, just get on it and go. 2 tours a year probably for me. One big tour, you know, a couple of weeks Europe, and then the other tour would be a week probably in around the UK. You were going to go then, weren't you? Look, that was close. He was going to go then. Woo. Squeaky bum time, that. £1,000 excess as well. Yep, that'd have done it. Anyway, brakes are good on this, and the suspension's lovely. I haven't put it into sports suspension yet. I've left it in comfort, and it's not wallowy, you know, with the comfort suspension settings. I've not gone in and played with any of the damping. I have put it up into sport, and it improves the sport mode improves the acceleration and the response of the throttle. As far as an hour's test ride will go, I like it. I'm impressed. And do you know what? I think I like it more than the GS. If I was taking this on tour, I'd get out and I'd look forward to touring on this. So I would get the bike out and go, yes, I'm going touring on the Triumph. And I think that's where I'm at with this bike.